Hi, I'm going to go through and explain how my game meets the rubric requirements in this video. So the first requirement says all materials for the game are ready. And then also I think that the fourth requirement, game is classroom ready for the day of the final and is playable for the grade level. And then the fifth requirement, game or game materials go beyond minimal requirements. I think that this will explain all three of those. So this is my game boards and some pieces. I made all of the pieces. There's 48 numbers in total. There's 24 on each board. Each board has the same numbers. The only thing I didn't make for the game was the actual game boards, which I adapted from the game Guess Who. But I have 24 numbers on each board. Some are even, some are odd, some are fractions, some are prime numbers. So I thought of a lot of different types of numbers to include. I matched the colors of the pieces to the colors of the board, and the fronts have the numbers clearly written, and the backs are these glittery pieces so you can't see through. The marker didn't bleed through or anything like that. And then to go along with that, I made 24 of the mystery cards, which is the same numbers that are on the boards, and the players will each pick one card to know what their number is, and then their opponent will ask questions to try and guess the number. So there's 24 of those. They are classroom ready, ready to play. We've played it here at my house, and I did do a lot of crafting by writing the numbers, making sure they're not see-through on the back, gluing them onto these glittery thick papers. They're thick and durable, and the numbers are all good for second grade level. There's some fractions which the second graders that I have been working with this semester in my 415 are getting into fractions a little bit, so I think that this game board is a good way to kind of further introduce that and reinforce some of what they know about fractions. And then for my instructions, I made my instruction sheet on Canva myself, and I don't have a physical copy here to show you, but I'll upload it in the document. So there's 3 sections to my instructions. One is the object of the game, which says to ask clever questions to guess your opponent's mystery number before they guess yours. And then the Let's Play section says ask yes or no questions about your opponent's mystery number. Flip down the numbers on your game board to eliminate answers, and then it's your opponent's turn to ask you a question. And there's also a note that says you may not ask a question and guess your opponent's mystery number in the same turn. So if you have it narrowed down to a couple options and then you ask a question which helps you get a better idea of what their number is, you can't then guess until your opponent has had a chance to either ask you a question or make a last-ditch effort to guess your number, because they know that in the next turn you're going to guess theirs. So it says how to win. If you correctly guess your opponent's mystery number, you win. If you guess incorrectly, your opponent wins. So it can be risky to guess if you don't know for sure, but if you're in that last move, then it might be a good idea. And then the standards which I applied were second grade math standards. There was add and subtract within 20 to demonstrate fluency. Then there's develop foundations of multiplication and division, and count within 1,000 by ones, tens, and hundreds, starting with any number. So what is cool about this game is that it is, you can easily enhance it or enrich it and make it more difficult or more challenging for students by like having them, instead of like guessing like is your number 21, saying oh is your number the sum of 10 and 11 or something like that, to where it kind of has qualities of what's that other game, Jeopardy, where it's like what is this. It's before you can just answer, you have to say like an equation that relates to the number, so that could involve like adding and subtracting, or you could have them draw like 2 of the mystery number cards, and when their opponent narrows it down to what they think their 2 numbers is, they can say like, is your number equal to 3.5, you know, or is your number equal like to 5.5 minus 2 or something like that. And then also whenever they ask questions like, is your number even, they could also rephrase that as like, is your number divisible by 2, or they could ask like, is your number a multiple of 5. There's lots of different numbers to stimulate them to ask questions like that. And then just knowing like if you ask like, is it greater than or less than this number, like is it greater than 10, then they kind of might have to count like 10, 11, 12, 13, like yes it is. Or if they ask like, is it less than, then they kind of have to do that math in their head too, with counting and adding and subtracting to figure out if the numbers in the questions are correct. Because if you aren't correct and you're putting down the wrong numbers, that could possibly cause you to guess the wrong number and lose the game. So this game is mainly made for 2 people. There's 2 game boards, but you could have teams so that students can either like take turns playing against each other on teams, or have their partner like help them, like, oh, is this number like a factor of that or whatever. Students could also possibly use calculators in this game to help reinforce like how to use calculators and do calculations and things like that, because otherwise it could maybe take them longer to know which numbers to put down if they don't know it off the top of their head. So this game does promote fluency and trying to think really quickly, but depending on the ability level, you could use calculators for certain students and help them get used to, I keep saying it's driving me crazy, be more fluent. But anyway, I think that covers all of the standards, or all of the requirements for the rubric. Anyway, yeah, it was a fun game. It was fun to make. I like doing the crafting, and it was fun to play. My husband and I have played a few rounds of it, so pretty fun. Thank you. I think I could definitely use this in my 2nd grade classroom. I was in for my practicum this semester, and I will be student teaching in 2nd grade next semester. So we'll probably bring this in and see, and maybe have them play it in their groups during like math rotations or something. It'll be fun.